Wasteland 3. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words. Let's just read some fucking words, guys, of the developer. Following the critically acclaimed 2014 Game of the Year winner Wasteland 2, the RPG series that pioneered the post-up... Well, are you going to tell us about Wastelands 3 or just fucking shill about Wastelands 2? The RPG series that pioneered the post-apocalyptic genre in video games returns with Wastelands 3. So you've told me nothing about Wastelands 3. Let's dig deeper, guys. Let's dig. In Wastelands 3, you take command of a squad of desert rangers, lawmen and women in a post-nuclear world, trying to rebuild society from the ashes. More than a century after the bombs fell, you're fighting a losing battle to keep your beloved Arizona alive. Then the self-proclaimed patriarch of Colorado radios, promising aid if you'll do a job he can only entrust to an outsider. Rescue his land from the ambitions of his 3 bloodthirsty children. First up, guys, let's have a quick look at the graphical options. There's quite a few to choose from. You can turn things down, turn things up, twiddle with knobs and pull levers, which is what you really want in a game on a PC. It does stutter a little bit when you have everything on with the music. It's not going to run great on some low-end systems, so bear that in mind if you are buying this. Now, I didn't play the first 2, so this was a brand new experience for me, and I've got to say, guys, right from the off, I enjoyed playing it. It's got a decent story. It's very, very Fallout-y. You kind of get that whole Fallout vibe from playing this. It's a turn-based tactical RPG, as you're probably already aware of. I'll come into the combat and the tactics in a minute, but let's talk a little bit about the story and what you do. You're kind of a ranger battalion that's been ambushed, as I said in the words, and you get given this base that you have to populate with key members of staff, like a doctor, a mechanic, an armourer, and things like that. And it's all very... I love that kind of stuff where you have your own base and you can go back to your base at any time between missions to restock or get healed or resupplied and things like that, which is a nice, neat touch. You also get missions from there as well. Once you get past the tutorial, you'll be roaming around the open world in this vehicle, and you can have random encounters in it, but basically what you use in the vehicle for is to get from quest to quest. You'll be doing a lot of quests for different types of people. There's main quests and side quests. All of them will give you a reward, whether it be money or armor or weapons and things like that. There's lots and lots of crates and loot to be getting in this game. There's vendors where you can sell everything to and buy new shit from them and equip out your team. Your team is a maximum of 6 players, and you have to have 2 NPCs on that. Now, when I say NPCs, that's not true. They're not NPCs, but they are computer-generated characters from within the game. But the rest of them, you can have your own characters that you make up. I've got 4 characters in here that are from my Patreon or other forms of donators. I've got Maltor, the Mad Axeman, who's my main tank. I've got myself on heavy machine guns. I've got Heads as a sniper, and I have Lex, who's the actual leader, who's a medic and a pistolero. And the NPCs have assault rifles, and there's another one wielding a pistol. The reason I've got so many different weapons is because the ammo is all based in your inventory. You don't give them individual ammo. They all just share the same inventory, which is fantastic. Saves a lot of micromanagement like you get in other kind of games like this. It just does away with all that. You just put everything in your main inventory, and then using the action bars, you just equip them with what you want them to have, and if the inventory runs out, they run out. And the reason, like I said, that I've got different weapons is so that I can have lots of different ammo, so they're not all drawing from the same ammo pool. When you're creating the character, you have 3 main areas. You have your attributes, you have your perks, and you have your skill points. Now, your attributes are your basic RPG stuff. If I look at my sniper, basically I've got high intellect on that because that's your crit. You want that. I've got low strength, which is kind of your hit points, because he's at the back. He doesn't need a lot of hit points. He's a sly bastard at the back just taking crit shots. So I need high crit, high hit, and low hit points. So I've got him kind of specced out like that. Your skill points are obviously sniper rifles for your sniper, but there's lots and lots of others that you can invest into. For example, I've got his lock picking up high and also his luck up high, because them two work perfectly in tandem, because luck gives you a chance to get more shit when you're looting and also more crit. So it's perfect for a sniper. So it makes perfect sense to have your sniper, your lock picker, and your lucky guy. And there's lots of different things that you can spec into, which is over and above the kind of weapon that you're using, which is really neat stuff. There's like computer nerdery, so you can hack into computers and hack into robots and turn them on each other and things like that. So there's plenty of stuff to spec into, which I like. It is a good RPG. Even the loot system's good, because you can't just walk into anyone's sort of palace or house and start looting in front of them. They won't allow that. They'll stop you from looting. So it's a very good RPG, and it's all voiced, guys. All the way through, the story is voiced. Every character so far that I've come across is fully voiced, and the voices are brilliant. They're really well done. The only criticism is you don't really get to see a lot of their faces, because you're in this isometric kind of view and you can't zoom in very far, and the camera's a bit shit as well, and you can't click on the map as well to just move people, so it does get a bit confusing at times trying to move your characters around. Once you've set up your base and you've populated it with specialists, you get this vehicle. We actually get the vehicle before that, and you can go around the open world map doing your quests. This is the fun part of the game. When you're riding around in this vehicle, you can get stopped by random events. Sometimes you can get away, sometimes you don't want to get away, because the more fights you have, the more loot you get, the more money you get, and money is everything in this game, which is why I have one of my crew high on bartering, because what he does is he's the man that goes to all the vendors and sells and buys, because he gets a discount for buying and he gets a big bit of profit for selling because of his high spec in bartering. Again, the skill points are really, really essential in this. So as you go around in your vehicle, you'll get to where you want to be, whatever quest you're going to do, and then the combat starts. Now, if you can get the jump on the enemy by initiating combat yourself, that's great, because you get the first go, which can mean the difference between winning and losing a battle. You can see the vision rings around the enemy, so you know whether they're going to see you. Obviously, if you penetrate that ring, they're going to see you. This is where knowing your squad comes in. You've got to know who to have at the front, who to have at the back, and set them out accordingly, get them behind barricades, and then just kick ass. You have action points which you spend in these kind of games, which can either be spent on movement, healing, reloading, or firing. Each kind of action has a different amount of action points. Obviously, the bigger the better the weapon, the more action points it's going to use. You can get more action points by how you spec in your attributes, which I touched on a little bit earlier. Now, I love the combat in this. I think it's fantastic. I love the sounds, I love the music, I love the whole way that the combat works. I'm a sucker for these type of games. I did Gears, whatever it was called earlier this year. I really enjoyed that. I'm not a massive XCOM fan, funnily enough, which is probably the daddy of these games, but for some reason it just doesn't really appeal to me, yet all the others kind of do. That's weird. Mackie, you XCOMist. It's not all lovely roses at the bottom of the garden though, guys. It can get a bit laggy, this. It's not brilliantly optimized, and if you don't have a high-end system, you might struggle, especially if you've got the music on in the combat. That kind of, I don't know what it is, but some people have been having real issues with that. But the big freaking problem with this game is easily co-op. Co-op is totally broken, guys. There's loads and loads of different problems arising when you try to play a co-op game. Stuff vanishing, bugs in missions, just unable to complete missions, people vanishing. It's just a complete broken mess, and it needs fixing rather, because this game advertises as co-op, and I'm sure a lot of people have bought this with their friends purely to play co-op, and then, you know, 55 notes, guys. This isn't a cheap game. This is full top end price, 55, and you would expect for a game like this at £55 to at least fucking work, but it just doesn't. It's not brilliantly optimized, and co-op is screwed, and there's also bugs in single player as well. So it isn't great, guys. Maybe this is why I didn't get a key for this. I did ask the developers for a key, but they just wouldn't give me one. I even emailed them. Now, I haven't looked at anyone else's reviews, but I'm pretty sure hardly anyone else will have mentioned the co-op, because, hey, oh, look at this, we love you. But it's not a bad game, guys. I'm going to thumb it up because it is a good game, and I think that if you like these turn-based kind of games, you're going to like this. I love these type of games, and I really do enjoy playing this game. I love the whole shared inventory, the lack of having to micromanage everything, but it is a very slow game. You need to understand that it's a very slow game. It's 50 hours long, but hey, that's just the loading time. That's not the loading time. But it is 50 hours long, guys, and a lot of that is just listening to the dialogue, exploring the different areas that you go to, you know, just taking it very slowly. It's a very slow-paced game. There's traps all over. You move your men slowly because you're listening, using your awareness, trying to spot mines and things like that, then disarming them. It's one of them games where you just want to just chill out, take a few hours and just go at your own little pace and chill out with. It's a great game for that, and I'm going to come back to this and continue playing it. I haven't finished it, guys, but I've got so much to do. I've got Project Cars 3 up next, and then I've got Crusader Kings 3, which I'm pretty much done with now, and I've got quite a few others, all big Marvel Avengers, all coming out in the next few days, so it's going to be absolutely hectic. So there you go, Wasteland 3 is worth a buy, and if you do want to buy this, it is on Greenman Gaming at a discount. Links in the description, and it'll also help the channel. Oh, before you go, guys, it's also on Game Pass. I'm going to do a video on Game Pass because I think it's great. There you go.